The floor vibrated first, a low, rolling tremor that felt less like movement and more like a heartbeat. Hale froze. Elara, still half-conscious, lifted her head just enough to feel the hum pulsing through the metal. The core was awake. And it was thinking. Sparks drifted from the ceiling of the collapsed control room as golden veins spread across the walls, threading outward like roots searching for something, or someone. "Elara," Hale whispered, shaking her shoulder. "Stay with me. We have to move." But the glow under her skin pulsed brighter, syncing with the rhythm shaking the chamber. She didn't answer. She wasn't unconscious anymore. She was listening. A faint whisper echoed through her mind. Not a voice in the air. A voice inside. A memory that wasn't hers. Unit identified. Genetic match confirmed. Access restored. Elara gasped. The room blurred. Images crashed into her, floating metallic cities suspended inside hollowed worlds, a network of golden light spanning continents, beings of shimmering crystal gathering around a structure like the one beneath this ice. The core wasn't a machine. It was a civilization. A memory archive of an alien race that vanished before human history began. "Elara! Focus!" Hale grabbed her, pulling her back into the collapsing present. The metal door behind them split open, bending outward as if pushed by invisible hands. A wave of golden mist rolled in, crackling like static. Hale raised his rifle. Elara put her hand on the barrel. "No, it's not trying to kill us." The mist swirled, forming a faint humanoid outline. Not solid, just light, like a memory replaying itself. The figure extended a hand toward Elara. She stepped back. "What do you want from me?" The core responded without sound. A pulse of light struck her chest, and the world dissolved. She wasn't in the control room anymore. She stood beneath a vast alien skyline, towers of living crystal stretching toward a swirling violet sky. Golden currents moved between the structures like rivers of light. The air tasted metallic, warm, familiar. And everywhere she looked, thousands of beings, tall, elegant, shining like molten glass, moved in harmony. A civilization thriving. Until the sky split open. A black wave, a parasite of pure void, swept across the horizon, devouring light. The alien cities glow dimmed. The beings panicked. The core's golden networks crackled, failing, collapsing. A final message was recorded. A warning. A failsafe. A memory encoded into one surviving species, humans. Elara dropped to her knees. The golden city dissolved around her, and she snapped back into the ruined control room. Hale was shaking her. "Elara! What happened?" She pointed toward the glowing walls as they dimmed, then brightened again like a heartbeat accelerating. "They weren't trying to invade Earth." Her voice trembled. "They were trying to save themselves through us." The alien silhouette in the mist grew sharper. Not hostile. Not random. Summoned. The core hadn't awakened to destroy the world. It had awakened because its enemy had returned. And the tremor that shook the chamber again wasn't coming from the core. It was coming from something approaching from below. Hale swallowed hard. "What the hell is under us?" Elara stepped back as another pulse of light ran up her arm, brighter than before. "The reason they died," she whispered. The floor beneath them cracked. The core dimmed. And from the abyss below, a deep, impossible sound echoed upward. The void had awakened. A shockwave blasted through the control room, knocking Hale into a console and throwing Elara to the ground. Dust exploded into the air, swirling in golden and gray spirals as the chamber groaned like something alive, something in pain. A sound rose from the darkness below. Not a roar. Not a voice. A vibration that crawled through bone, thick and heavy and ancient. Hale staggered to his feet, clutching his ears. "Jesus, what is that?" Elara didn't answer. Her glowing veins pulsed wildly, flickering like a warning signal synced with the tremor beneath them. The core wasn't just awake. It was afraid. The golden mist recoiled from the widening crack in the floor, retreating in thin streams toward the walls, which dimmed as if draining their energy to prepare for something worse. "Elara," Hale said, stepping close. "Talk to me. What's happening?" She stared into the abyss as the vibration deepened. "It's coming up." Her voice was hollow, controlled. They thought they sealed it away, but it's still here. A chunk of the platform snapped and dropped into the pit, vanishing before it hit anything. No echo. Just swallowed by darkness. Then a shape moved. Not rising. Unfolding. Long, jointed limbs emerged from the void, each wrapped in black, fractal patterns that absorbed light instead of reflecting it. The air around them warped, bending like heat haze. Hale raised his weapon, but it flickered, disabled, the electronics corrupted instantly by the creature's presence. The core's golden veins flashed violently in response. Elara, run! He grabbed her arm and pulled her toward the only surviving corridor, but she stumbled. The light under her skin surged painfully, sending a pulse into the floor. The void thing reacted. Its head, if it even had one, turned toward her. Not visually. Like it sensed her heartbeat. A low, mind-scraping whisper crawled across her mind. Elara screamed, clutching her skull. Hale dragged her behind a collapsed console. His breath trembled. Elara, don't look at it. Don't think about it. The creature hauled itself further upward, its limbs bending in ways that made no biological sense, joints rotating silently, segments twisting like geometric nightmares. Electrical panels exploded across the chamber. Sparks rained down like a metallic storm. In a sudden flicker of golden light, an alien glyph illuminated on the far wall, one of the core's hidden doors. Elara pushed herself upright, shaking. The core is opening a path. For us? Hale asked. No. Her eyes widened. For it. It's trying to seal the void thing out, but it can't hold it much longer. The creature reached the surface. The temperature dropped instantly, frost forming across every surface in a violent bloom. The golden core light recoiled entirely from the creature's shadow. The thing was wrong. Something that shouldn't exist in any world. Elara! Hale grabbed her, pulling her toward the glowing door as it began to slide open, revealing a slanted tunnel of dim gold light. We need to go now. Behind them, the creature finally rose to its full height, a towering, shifting form made of darkness shaped like geometry wrapped around a nightmare. It stepped toward them. The floor webbed with cracks. The corridor began to close itself. They sprinted. A limb whipped forward, silent, sharp as a blade, slicing through the air inches behind Hale's head. They dove through the shrinking gap. The door slammed shut. Wham! The creature struck the other side. The entire tunnel shook. Golden light flickered violently, more pulses than glow. The core was trying to reinforce the barrier, rewiring itself in panic. Hale leaned against the wall, chest heaving. What was that thing? Elara pressed her glowing hand to the trembling wall. It wasn't one of them. Her voice was a whisper. It destroyed them. The tunnel vibrated again. A deep crack appeared along the sealed door. Hale's eyes widened. It's breaking through. Elara looked up, golden veins burning brighter than ever. It's coming for me. A thin black tendril, like smoke but heavy, physical, slid through the fissure, feeling its way across the wall. The golden surface sizzled where it touched, the light dimming under its shadow. Hale stepped back, instinct kicking in. Elara, it's already coming through. I know. Her heartbeat synced with the core's frantic pulses. Her veins blazed gold beneath her skin. The tunnel itself responded, lights flickering, walls shifting subtly, like metal breathing faster. The core wasn't calm. It was bracing. The tendril curled around the crack and pulled. Stone and alien alloy screamed under the pressure. Hale readied a broken piece of pipe like a weapon. If that thing gets in here... It doesn't want you, Elara said quietly. The tremor in her voice wasn't fear, it was realization. It was calling to me. It recognized me. Recognized you? Hale snapped. Why, how? The answer arrived before she could speak. A wave of gold light surged through the tunnel floor like a shockwave. Not violent, calculated, guiding. The walls shifted, pulling away, revealing a new path. What is this? Hale whispered. A corridor unfolded ahead of them, a luminous, geometric structure unlike anything they'd seen. The light inside was soft, warm, alive. Not like the frantic pulses behind them. It felt welcoming. Elara felt the pull again. Stronger. The core wanted her inside. Hale grabbed her wrist. "We're not splitting up. We're not," Elara whispered. "But this is for me." The crack behind them burst wider. A jagged limb stabbed through, scraping the floor, carving a deep line toward them. The void creature forced its head through the gap. It didn't have eyes. But it looked at her. Her arm burned white-hot. The walls of the new corridor changed color, deepening into a rich amber, then shifting again into gold. Symbols scrolled across the surface, reorganizing, attempting communication. Elara stepped toward it. Hale grabbed her shoulder. "Elara, stop. We don't know what that thing is." "I do," she breathed. She laid her glowing hand against the wall. Golden waves rippled outward. The tunnel answered. A holographic shape formed in front of her, not solid, just light suspended in air. It was a figure. Tall. Crystalline. The same race she saw in the vision. But unlike the others, this one was dim, fragmented, incomplete. A memory corrupted by time. Its voice wasn't heard. It was felt. Threshold activation. Host accepted. Enemy detected. Protocol 3 initiated. The tunnel surged with power. Hale's eyes widened. Protocol what? The hologram pointed down the corridor. Elara understood. This is the threshold. A bridge. The heart of the core. Her voice was steady, as if she'd always known. If I cross it, I can control the system. I can lock it out. Behind them, the void creature roared silently, the door finally shattering as it forced half its monstrous body inside the tunnel. Hale pulled her back. "Then go. Move." Elara hesitated. "Hale, if I step through, I don't think I'll be able to come back." "Then I'll go with you." "No," she whispered. The golden hologram turned its head sharply. The creature was almost through. Its limbs scraped the floor, the air bending as it approached. Hale pushed her forward. "Elara, go. Before it reaches you." Another crack rippled through the tunnel wall as the creature slammed its full weight against the barrier. Elara stepped into the golden corridor. The threshold sealed behind her, locking Hale outside. "Elara!" His pounding echoed behind the golden wall. She pressed her hand to the surface, but it was solid. The wall shimmered, then displayed a fractured alien symbol. A warning. Behind Hale, the void creature rose to full height, eclipsing the tunnel lights. Its limbs twisted inward, preparing to strike. Hale turned slowly, his voice barely a whisper. "Oh, hell!" Elara screamed, slamming her fists into the barrier. "Hale! Hale!" The void creature lunged. The void creature's limbs wrapped around him like liquid iron, cold, crushing, silent. One tendril clamped across his chest, another coiled around his throat, lifting him effortlessly off the ground. His boots kicked against empty air. "Hale!" Elara slammed both palms against the golden barrier, the symbols flickering violently under her touch. Hale's face twisted in pain as the creature pulled him closer to its towering head, a writhing mass of shadow, like smoke struggling to remember a shape. No eyes, no mouth, but it watched him. And then, the creature moved. Not away. Down. It dragged Hale deeper into the tunnel, toward a part of the base that wasn't supposed to exist, a section swallowed by darkness even the core's golden light couldn't reach. "Hale, no. Hold on." Elara pounded the barrier, the threshold pulsing with her fear. He twisted in the creature's grip, gasping. "Elara, don't you dare come after." His voice choked off as a tendril tightened. Another slammed into the floor, pulling them faster. The golden barrier flickered, sensing her panic, but it didn't open. It couldn't. Elara pressed her glowing forearm against it, trying to sync with the core. Nothing. She tried again, harder. The symbols changed. Host is not permitted to exit. Enemy presence outside. Threshold locked. Elara's eyes filled with panic and fury. "You locked me in. Hale is out there. Open it." No response. Just the steady hum of ancient programming. Inside the dark corridor, Hale clawed at the tendrils crushing his ribs. The air grew colder the deeper the creature dragged him. The faint golden hue from the broken tunnel faded behind him. Everything became black. Not darkness. Absence. A void swallowing even the shape of his own hands. Hale forced out a breath. "If you're gonna kill me, just do it, you ugly." The tendril around his throat loosened. Not out of mercy. Out of purpose. The creature wasn't killing him. It was taking him somewhere. Hale felt a shift in the air, a low, rumbling vibration, as if the walls themselves were alive. A massive chamber opened around him, though he couldn't see it. Only feel it. The creature stopped. Hale dangled in the center of the darkness, heart pounding. Then, a shape moved in the void. A bigger shape. Something ancient. Something the creature served. And from the blackness came a sound like stone grinding against bone. A deep, resonant whisper that vibrated in Hale's skull rather than his ears. "The host has been isolated." Hale froze. The voice wasn't speaking English. But he understood it. He didn't want to. "Host," he whispered. "Elara. The host is within the threshold. The key may not be harmed." The tendrils adjusted, holding Hale like a restrained animal. "Okay," Hale muttered through clenched teeth. "So I'm what?" "Leverage." A rumble vibrated through the chamber. It felt like amusement. Or irritation. "The key must open the gate." Hale's blood ran cold. The gate. What gate? The darkness shifted closer. A titanic presence he couldn't see pressed in around him. Not touching. Watching. "The one you call Elara. We'll open it for us." Hale struggled, rage burning through the pain. "Like hell she will." The creature tightened its grip until he could barely breathe. The voice continued. "If she does not." A pause. A chill. "We will unmake you." Hale stiffened. Not kill. Suddenly the darkness lit, faint, flickering, like dying embers, revealing the edges of an immense circular chamber. Symbols along the walls matched the ones Elara saw in her visions, but corrupted, decayed, twisted into new meanings. Behind the glowing barrier in the threshold, Elara fell to her knees. "Hale, please, be alive." The barrier showed her a flicker, a distorted shadow of Hale suspended in darkness. Her heart stopped. Then the barrier emitted new text. "Host signal detected. Host in distress. Protocol 4 available." Elara stood slowly. Her eyes narrowed. "Show me." The wall unfolded, revealing a chamber of golden fire, symbols forming a pattern she didn't recognize, but instinctively understood. If she activated Protocol 4, she could reach him. But something about it felt wrong. Dangerous. Maybe irreversible. She clenched her fists. "He's not dying today." She stepped forward. The threshold roared to life. As Elara stepped toward the swirl of golden fire, the symbols on the walls ignited one by one, like ancient circuitry waking for the first time in centuries. Her glowing arm pulsed harder than ever, the light inside her veins syncing with the vibrating hum of the threshold. The entire room trembled. Protocol 4 was not meant to be used. She knew that instinctively, the way you know not to touch a hot stove without ever being told. But Hale's scream echoing across the barrier's distortion made the decision for her. She pressed her palm against the central symbol. The world cracked. A shockwave of golden energy tore outward across the room, rattling the metal, bending the air, shaking the ground beneath her feet. The chamber expanded, unfolding like an impossible geometric puzzle, walls sliding, splitting, rotating out of physical logic. Elara stumbled back as the platform beneath her boots detached from the floor and floated. Golden fire streaked upward, wrapping her in a column of light. She couldn't breathe, couldn't move. But she didn't fight it. "Hale, hold on." The fire sank into her skin, flooding her bloodstream. Her vision burst into 1,000 overlapping images. Hale suspended in the void, choking as the creature's tendrils coiled tighter. A massive chamber of shadows circling him. Twisted alien glyphs pulsing in sickly red. A colossal, unseen presence watching Hale from the darkness. And beneath it all, a structure, a gate, breathing like a living thing. Then she saw something else. Herself. Standing at the gate. Her hands pressed against a surface of blinding light. Her heart raced. "No, no, I'm not opening anything for them." The chamber responded. The symbols turned harsh, jagged. Protocol 4 engaged. Host evolution. Phase 1. Begin synaptic realignment. Pain stabbed into her skull, sharp and electric. Elara fell to one knee, teeth clenched. Gold light poured down her arms, under her skin, into her bones, changing her, reshaping her. She gasped. What are you doing to me?" The chamber's voice was emotionless. "Preparing the key." Elara slammed her fist against the platform. "I'm not your key, I'm getting Hale back." The symbols flickered, confused. She wasn't following the program. Her defiance altered the chamber. A segment of the platform cracked open, revealing a sphere of swirling gold and black energy, unstable, vibrating like a heart beating too fast. Elara stared at it. This can take me to Hale, can't it? The host must be completed. Danger level maximum." She didn't care. She reached toward the sphere. Her fingertips brushed the surface. The entire threshold collapsed into blinding white. Meanwhile, in the void below, Hale felt his ribs crack under the creature's grip. His vision dimmed. The massive presence in the darkness leaned closer, its form still hidden, but its voice vibrating through every nerve in his body. "The key has awakened." Hale spat blood. "Stay away from her." The creature tightened around him, then froze. Something was happening. The chamber trembled, not from the void, but from above, where Elara was. A golden pulse shot through the darkness like a shockwave, slamming into the void creature. It wailed, a horrible, metallic shriek, and stumbled back. Hale dropped to the floor, gasping. For the first time, he saw light. A thin tear in the darkness. A rip of molten gold splitting the air like cracked glass. And through it, a silhouette. Elara. But not the Elara he knew. Her body was wrapped in gold fire. Symbols flickered under her skin. Her eyes glowed like burning stars. She stepped through the tier and landed between Hale and the creature. Her voice was steady, deadly, unrecognizable. "Touch him again, and I destroy this entire chamber." The darkness recoiled, hissing. Hale stared, breathless. "Elara, what did they do to you?" She didn't answer. Her gaze stayed on the void creature. Her hands lifted, gold burning brighter. The chamber shook violently, the shadows scrambling back, terrified. Hale whispered, "Elara, you're glowing." She finally turned to him. "I'm getting us out. But—" Her voice broke for the first time. "I don't know how long I can control this." The void creature lunged. Elara unleashed a blast of golden energy that split the darkness in two. The entire void chamber screamed. The gate pulsed. And something far larger, far older, shifted awake. The golden shockwave ripped across the chamber, tearing through the black fog like light-shredding smoke. The void creature collapsed into a crumbling mass of shadows, dissolving into the stone beneath it. For a heartbeat, everything was silent. Elara's chest rose and fell in sharp, uneven breaths. The gold flickering under her skin pulsed wildly, unstable, frantic, alive. Hale pushed himself upright, wincing, one arm wrapped around his ribs. "Elara, what the hell did they turn you into?" She didn't answer. She was staring past him. Into the darkness. Because the room wasn't calming. It was awakening. All around them, the massive chamber vibrated with a deep, ancient resonance, like the slow heartbeat of a monstrous creature buried beneath stone. The symbols on the walls, once dim red, now blazed in violent spirals, twisting from red to white to pitch black. Hale followed her gaze. What is that?" A rumble. A shift. And the darkness at the far end of the chamber peeled apart like eyelids being forced open. Two immense arcs of obsidian stone lit with pulsating veins of light. The gate. It wasn't a structure. It wasn't a portal. It was alive. And it was looking at them. Elara felt the energy inside her respond, burning brighter, pulling her forward. Her knees nearly buckled as a vision punched into her mind. A world of twin suns burning above a shattered desert. Towers of metal and bone rising into a red sky. A civilization kneeling before a blinding figure of pure white flame. A voice whispering in countless overlapping tones. "We were gods once." Elara gasped, clutching her head. Hale grabbed her shoulders. "Elara! Stay with me, why? Look at me." Her eyes snapped open, now burning gold. The gate spoke. Not aloud. Not in words. Straight into her mind. "You were chosen to finish what your kind began. Open me." Elara staggered back as the voice tore through her skull. "No, I'm not opening anything." The chamber shook violently. The ground cracked. Dust showered from the ceiling. The shadows swirled like living smoke. Hale pulled her behind a fractured column. That sounded like a very angry ancient door thing. "Elara," he whispered. "What does it want?" She swallowed hard. "It wants me to open it. And if I do—" She looked at the glowing tear she had created, the one she used to enter the void. "It won't just let something out. It will send something in." The gate flared, a roaring, blinding pulse of white. The darkness around it twisted into spirals, forming the shape of a colossal figure emerging inside the gate's frame. A silhouette with too many arms, too many eyes, and a crown of burning white fire. The first god. The one the void creatures worshipped. The one Elara's energy was evolving her to connect with. Hale tightened his grip on her arm. "So, you can close that thing, right?" Elara shook her head. "I don't know how." The entire chamber convulsed. A shockwave ripped through the air, knocking both of them flat. The gate widened, tearing open like a wound spreading across reality. The silhouette inside stepped forward. One step. Through. The ground beneath them cracked in web-like patterns, golden fissures spreading outward from Elara's body as if the room were responding to her, not the god. Hale crawled toward her. "Elara, talk to me. What's happening?" Her voice shook. "He's calling me." The god's voice echoed in her mind. "Come to me, Ki. Complete your transformation. Open the way." Elara screamed, grabbing her head, the golden light in her veins exploding outward in arcs like lightning. Hale pulled her close. "Elara, fight it." She tried. But her body wasn't listening. Her feet lifted an inch off the ground. Then another. The gate's energy wrapped around her like invisible chains, dragging her toward it. Hale held onto her arm with everything he had, teeth gritted, battered ribs screaming. "Elara, you're not going to him." A blast of white force hurled Hale across the chamber. He smashed against a stone pillar and collapsed, coughing blood. "Elara," he whispered, vision blurring. She hovered now, suspended above the collapsing chamber, golden light streaming from her chest and eyes, drawn like threads into the widening gate. The silhouette of the first god extended one massive, flaming hand toward her. Elara's eyes widened in terror. She whispered one word. "Hale." But the gate roared, drowning her voice. A beam of energy shot from the god's hand, wrapping around her like a leash. At the very last second, a shockwave of molten gold erupted behind her. Something ripped open the air, a violent tear glowing the same color as her veins. A second voice entered her head. "Host, do not enter the gate. Countermeasure protocol activated." The threshold had followed her. The golden tear expanded, forming a barrier between her and the god. The gate shrieked in fury. The chamber shook harder. Hale tried to stand, reaching his hand toward her silhouette drifting in the chaos. "Elara!" She reached back. For one instant, their fingers almost touched. Almost. Then, the gate unleashed a blast of pure white that consumed the entire room. Everything vanished in light.